How are you guys doing today? Oh, okay, so hello. Hello from my cat too. So I'm just making this video so that I can introduce myself and tell you why I started Jules' vlog. So what should I get started first? Okay, so let's talk about my story. So basically I started getting sick about 8 years ago. I started getting I was sick pretty much my whole life, but the worst started getting to where I am today about 8 years ago. I was about 120 pounds, I was working 3 jobs, and I was living, the nightlife kind of thing. I was working out, I would say about 3 to 4 hours a day, with 1 day off. Yeah, so I was managing life pretty well, and I did have a lot of health issues pretty much my whole life. Like I said, I had IBS and I had a really low immune system, which nobody told me why. So I always had pneumonia and what was the other one? I forgot the name of the other one, but yeah, I was always, like, every time there was something going around, a stomach flu or pneumonia or something like that, I would get it. So around 8 years ago, I started having issues with my ovaries. I was also tired and I was getting a little bit weak, like I was working out a lot, I was working a lot as well. I just didn't find that normal for me because I was always doing things, I was always like active and eating right, and it was just weird for me to start getting a bit weak, and my ovaries started hurting and everything, so I went to go see a doctor, and I don't know if it's like this everywhere. Like, I'm in Canada. Let me know in the comments if it's like this in your country or wherever you live. But whenever I would go see a doctor, they automatically assumed that I wanted pills, even though I can't tolerate pills and I hate taking them. So they thought, okay, well, we'll give you some painkillers, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't want it. And they're like, oh, that's fine, you can have it. And anyway, so I kind of brushed that off a bit. For about a year, I've had issues with my periods and getting horrible pains, and it wasn't fun. So I would say about 7 years ago, I would start getting pains like right under my rib. The pain was so intense that I could not eat, I could not sit down, I could not lay down, I couldn't move. Like, the pain was so bad, I literally couldn't do anything. So the first time, obviously, I went to the hospital, and again, guess what happened? Oh, you want pills? Here you go. So they gave me a shot in my arm, and I just started hallucinating. Like, my arm was on fire. Like, I seen fire coming out of my arms. And in the hospitals, the walls are all white. I actually seen a hockey game on the wall. So there was a blue team and a red team, I remember. So I was watching that after I thought my arm was on fire. And then basically they're like, okay, well, how's your pain now? And I'm like, oh, well, it's kind of like I don't know, a 5. Okay, well, you can go home now and we'll give you some prescriptions. So, like, I was, like, out of it, like I was on whatever drug they gave me. So I'm like, okay, like, stupid. And then I went home. Literally, as soon as I got home, I kind of woke up and I'm like, what the heck? I'm going to die tonight. Like, they just let me leave. They just give me drugs and they let me go home. So I freaked out for the next couple of days. Like, the attack lasted 2 days. Like, it was awful. And then I went on with my life again, and then I started getting these attacks more frequently. I'd say about at least once or twice a week I would get them. They could last anywhere between like an hour to 3 days. And every time I would go to the hospital, they thought I wanted drugs, and they would give me drugs, and then they would prescribe me drugs. And then I would never go to the pharmacy to get the drugs. So that lasted back and forth. I would go to the hospital back and forth for about a year, with them telling me the same thing over and over again. There's nothing wrong with you, just take your drugs. At one point I got really fed up, and I started doing my own research, and came across an article, I guess, about these attacks. So it's something to do with like my gallbladder that's not functioning right. So I did a bit of adjustment with my diet. It kind of went down a bit, so it took a while, but I kind of figured out what's like the triggers and what helps and what's. But I was, even today I still get them, and there's another cat. So this one's Mermal. Okay, what was I saying? Silly Mermal. Okay. Yeah, so I figured out my triggers and what was helping. So I found that, like, I know apple juice is not, like, any juice is not good, but when I would have those attacks, apple juice was my savior. Apple cider vinegar would help. I would just wait it out, and it's just awful. The pain is like a 10 out of 10. Like, I can't even move. Like I get so swollen, even like visibly I would get swollen on that one side there. So yeah, that was about a couple of years I had to deal with that. Still today they didn't tell me what it is or what's going on. So I'd say about 4 years ago, I did some blood work. For some reason they finally did something, so I did some blood work. I found out that I was anemic. I had vitamin D deficiency. I had vitamin B12, and there was some other one, I think it was K. But like, I was just like way out of whack. Like, I had so many deficiencies. So that took about a year and a half to get back to like a normal. My vitamin D has never gotten back to normal, but the other ones are like a low normal. My vitamin D, for some reason, I can't seem to get it to normal, like even a low normal. Like right now it's at a 30. I don't know, like the letters beside it. It's different in different countries, but in Canada 30 is like really, really low. I'd say about a year later, so that would be about 3 years ago, I went to the dentist because I had like pain on the right side of my face. So she said it was a tooth that needed a root canal. So she's like, well, in order to do that, you have to get your teeth cleaned, you have to get a full imaging, like a whole bunch of stuff. Like, she was just literally like breaking the bank kind of thing. And then once I did all those things, she's like, okay, you're ready to do your root canal. At that point, the pain was very, very severe. So she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to give you antibiotics, because when they did the cleaning, it caused an infection on top of the infection that I already had. So I started that. She opened the tooth, like she drilled it out, and then put a temporary fitting in it. And then she's like, okay, you're gonna have to come back again and do that again. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like, I had root canals done before. It's all done in the same day. And this whole cleaning and having to do x-rays and all sorts of imagings before I'm able to get a root canal done. That's kind of weird. Anyways, I went along with it. The fact that she opened me up, that caused the whole face was infected. So I became really, really sick, and the pain was so unbearable. I just couldn't live anymore. It was horrible. So that lasted a year. I was on antibiotics for a year. I had the minimal, like the penicillin, and then they went up to a penicillin, like a higher dose, and then they went up to a different type of antibiotics. Apparently, it was the strongest antibiotics that exist. That also didn't work. So they mixed the strongest one with the penicillin. They mixed the two. That didn't work. So I said, I'm done. Like, I'm dying. Like, I'm dying. Like, this is insane. Like, it started going down my neck and into my shoulder. Like, it was awful. So and then on top of that, you know what happens when you take too much antibiotics. Your good bacteria is screwed. Even though I was taking probiotics, it was just too strong. So I completely stopped taking them, and then I started looking for natural alternatives. So basically, I stopped taking them, and then I started doing a mouthwash with essential oils, like the clove and the cinnamon and lemon. I forgot what else I put in there. Anyways, I found it on, I did my own research, and then I made up this homemade mouthwash, and then did that every day. And then I did like the cold and hot treatment on like the whole side, all the way to my face, and then so I did that. It took about a couple of months, and I took supplements as well. I think I was taking garlic, oregano oil, lots of probiotics and prebiotics. What else did I take? I totally forgot what I took, but I was taking quite a bit of supplements, and it worked. Like, it stopped it, like, from spreading. The pain all the way going down here completely disappeared. I did still have like just the tooth pain. Like, at this point, my tooth was completely open because she just put a temporary in there. And I stayed like that for a while because now I was completely broke because I couldn't work, and she basically took all my money, basically. So I left it open for until I just got it removed finally this year. So that was a long journey. So at that point, I was pretty well run down with all that happened in those last few years there. That's when I started getting headaches, and the headaches were like, there was nothing that could help it. at one point I did accept one of the painkillers that they would give me for migraines. I tried it a couple of times and it didn't do anything, so I stopped taking those. The headaches became like a daily thing, and then I started noticing like memory loss, and my ears would make these weird noises. Sometimes they would pop and they would hurt. My vision, like I would lose. Sometimes it was so severe where like I completely lost my vision. Sometimes like I would get paralyzed on one side or the other. Yeah, it just started to get worse and worse. And about 2 years ago, I had a TIA. So they pretty much blamed it on that it was coming, or it was like in the process of becoming a TIA. So you should start feeling better. Blah blah blah. Which it never did. Yeah, so at one point it started getting really bad to the point where I couldn't function at all. I was just in bed all day long, or like laying on the couch with ice packs or heating pads or like ice helmets or anything, because they were telling me, oh, it's just a headache, or it's a migraine, or it's just all in your head. Nothing was working. Nothing was working. I tried ice packs. I even tried pills that they gave me that wouldn't work. So at one point I said, you know what? Enough is enough. At this point too, I thought I was dying again. So I was like, okay, you need to do something, because I am not, I don't know if I'm getting another TIA or if I'm actually going to have a stroke, but this is too much. No pills are helping, no remedies are working. You have to do something. Enough of this telling me to take pills and go home. Nothing's wrong with you. Something is wrong with me. So after freaking out a little bit, they finally said, okay, well, we'll have you see a neurologist. So that was beginning of last year. That's when I found out I had IIH. Yeah, so that was that. I forgot to mention before that, when they did my blood test and found out I was anemic and all sorts of things, they also found out that I had PCOS and that I had a bunch of food allergies. So I forgot to mention that. So I got diagnosed with those before I got diagnosed with IIH. So now I have IIH. They put me on Diamox. They started me slow, and then they built it up to 4 pills a day, 4 pills in the morning, 4 pills at night. It was giving me so much side effects. Like I literally, I had pins and needles in my arms and my legs, on my lips and on my nose, and like, it's not the normal kind of tingling. It was the kind that like it felt like real needles. Like, it hurt. It was painful. Like, if it would start randomly in the middle of the night, I could not sleep for the rest of the night. So I had that. I was sick to my stomach 24/7. I had rashes all over my body. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. So after a while, I kind of felt like the headaches were coming back, and my vision started to get, like, I started losing my vision. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna refer you to the surgeon to get you a shunt. So this surgeon contacts me and says, okay, well, in order for me to do the surgery, I need to confirm that you do have IIH, even though I was already diagnosed with it. So I had my appointment with the neuro-ophthalmologist. And it's funny, I was sitting beside this lady, and then one of the workers there, he calls this guy's name, and he's having a hard time getting up because I think he was like 80 years old or something. He was having a hard time getting off the chair. And she looks at me and the lady beside me, and she's like, oh my God, can't you be any slower? And then we're just looking at each other. We're like, seriously? Like, that's how you treat your people? And the lady beside me, she just flipped. It was so funny. She flipped out and started yelling at her. Anyways, now it was up to my turn to go in. I did all the tests, like the eye test and like the liquid in the eyes and the blinking test, or all sorts of things. At the end, the guy comes in, the actual neuro-ophthalmologist, and he's like, oh, well, you're in remission, so you won't need surgery. And I'm like, how am I in remission if I'm taking Diamox? You know, I just upped my dose like last week. And no reply. He just completely left the room. So that was really messed up. Like, he was so rude and telling me I don't, like, I'm in remission when I'm still taking pills. Like, I don't get that. Anyhow, that went over to my neurologist, and my neurologist was like, what the heck, you know? So she's like, okay, well, we're gonna have to, I'll try you on Topamax, see how that works. And if that doesn't work, then wean off of it, and then we'll do this again when you're not on pills. You'll have to go see him again. And I'm like, well, I'm not seeing that one again, that's for sure. But anyways, I go home. That's my neurologist is 6.5 hours away, by the way, so it's not an easy. It's not easy to go there. Like, that costed us about $850 for the trip there, and she wanted me to come back, to stop taking everything and come back, and I'm like, no, I can't afford another $850 plus 3 days off work. Like, that's insane. So that's why she's like, okay, try the Topamax. So I tried Topamax. That was like the Diamox times 10. It was horrible, but with that one I started puking. Like, it was just no. So at that point I was down to taking nothing, and my pressure is starting to come back. So I go see a naturopath and a nutritionist, and so now they put me on a treatment plan. So basically what it is that I have to slowly change like my lifestyle and take some supplements and change my diet, because of me having IIH, I cannot be tested for celiac, but they do think that I do have it, so I have to stay away from gluten, anything dairy, stay away from sugar as much as possible. So the only sugar that I could have would be from the fruits in the morning, so the berries. Like, chances are if you're here, you have either PCOS or IIH. If you stress your body too much, it'll make your condition worse. So the fact that I cut cold turkey kind of like screwed up my whole system. But I'm kind of back on track to like a normal that I can function, not like a normal, but that I can function. So it was all about getting me to that stage, and now it's about trying out the supplements, seeing what helps with the pressure and what helps with the PCOS. So right now I'm at a stage where I'm just doing small changes. I am on supplements right now. So right now for the IIH, I'm taking this. I don't know if you can see that. So basically I have to get something that has dandelion, potassium, vitamin B, calcium, and magnesium. So those are the ones that I have to take. This one does have green tea as well in it, and juniper berry. So yeah, this one has those two extras. I do like to have the green tea to give me the energy, so that's why I got this one. So I take this for the IIH. I tried a couple of times before I switched to this one. The other ones didn't seem to do much. And this here has helped a lot with the dizziness, because I have to jump on the treadmill. That would be funny, eh? The trampoline. So this has helped a lot in dizziness, vertigo, just to keep me like focused. So there's that. So for sugar is a hard thing to quit. Like it's worse than cocaine, as they say. So I found a few things that helped me. I try and find alternatives to the things that I like. So there's one here. I don't know if you've guys seen this before. This is like a soda pop, I'd say. So this one's cherry. I have root beer over there, ginger ale. I don't drink pop, but I was drinking a lot of juices and smoothies. So this kind of helped a lot with the sugar cravings for like drink wise. It has 0 calories, and it's sweetened with stevia. So there's one thing. Another thing is sweeteners. So this is one that I'm using right now. It's monk fruit French vanilla. I use different kinds. I like monk fruit better because it doesn't have that aftertaste that stevia does, but I still do use stevia in certain items. But for example, for yogurts or like oatmeal, I would sweeten it. I would get the plain kind with no sugar, no additives, no nothing, and I would do it myself. I would sweeten my own food with this or with stevia or with I think it's Swerve brown sugar. I would just find tricks like that. So basically I would find the food that I would like a lot that I can no longer have. I would find an alternative and make it my own. So that helped a lot. I also forgot to mention, I do have a lot of dandelion tea. I do also have tea with spearmint. Spearmint is mostly for the PCOS, but looking at my history, they believe that the IIH is caused by the PCOS, because I only started gaining weight last year. Before that, I was 120 pounds. Like, I haven't gained anything. I would say about a year and a half. Yeah. So around the time I found out I had the IIH, that's because I couldn't function anymore, right? And this is what I started last week. It's been pretty easy. It's pretty easy to do, you know. I can, like, I'll pour this into a glass, and then I'll make a tea out of it, or I'll put lemon in it, or just drink it straight. So I've been doing well for the last 3 days. I feel like it's lubricating my joints. And I felt so good yesterday. I spent the whole day cleaning the house, and then now I'm crippled again. But it felt good to move, right? So that's another thing that I'm working on too, is to get my body moving. Because of the IIH and my history with the TIA and PCOS, it is very hard to get your body moving, and I also have to watch out, because if there's too much pressure in the head, that could cause issues. So I try to find things to do to move in a moderate way where it doesn't raise the pressure too much. So things like cleaning the house is something that's been helping. Walking, the trampoline. Yeah, sometimes I'll have like a little dance session for like 10 minutes. What else? Just small things that you're able to do. And like I said, this has helped a lot in regards to vertigo and all that. The water also helps a lot. Like I said, I felt great yesterday after 3 days of drinking that whole gallon. Or it's not a gallon, it's not written on here. I think it was 14. Oh, I forgot, but it's 4 water bottles that fit in here. Another thing I suggest is getting yourself a pill organizer, I would say. I have 2 weeks worth, so that way I don't have to worry about it for 2 weeks, and it tracks, like, if I forgot to take it, like, there's morning, noon, evening, and bedtime. So I do that. Sorry guys, I had to take a quick break. I was kind of losing oxygen there. I have been battling with low oxygen levels for some reason, and they can't figure out why. It's been going on. Well, I've had issues with my lungs my whole life, like on and off. They can't figure out why, so I had to catch my breath. Okay, so I wanted to show you what I'm doing now to organize my life and to keep track of everything. So what I started doing is just to keep everything organized. This is just a planner that has no year or no date, so you can put your own stuff on it, and it tracks every day. And then there's priority, secondary, and then you can put your appointments here. This week's focus. I'm grateful for reflection. So that's for every week. And then there's the monthly one. And then there's a habit tracker. So there's all sorts, there's goals, there's habits. 1, 2, 3, there's 6 habits. And that's a long-term goal, this one. Goals, top 5 accomplishments, what I want to get done but didn't, and why. what I have learned this month. So this is just every month at the end, like you reflect on your month and then you write this down. And then when you start a new month, you write your new goals, your new focus, what you want to do more, what you want to do less. And don't forget this month's goals, action steps, etc. So I'm starting this just to keep track of everything. And I have another planner that I'm starting. I'm just starting, it's new. So while I'm doing this, I'm also trying to lose weight. I want to get back to who I was before. But it won't be easy because of PCOS, right? But it's doable. It is doable. So this is a planner. This is a planner from Epicure. I started Epicure because of the PCOS, the IIH, and the high blood pressure. Yeah, they have spices that are very low sodium. The ingredients are pure. And you can make meals in like 20 minutes. Like it's super easy. Another trick that I found, I used to eat like organic foods, cut my own veggies, wash them and everything. I believe that's pretty much why I kind of stopped cooking, because I couldn't do it anymore. So what I started doing is getting frozen vegetables instead, and then all you need to do is put them in the oven, or you can boil them and they're ready to go. They're already pre-cut, they're already sliced, or all the prep is already done for you. It's not like the farmer's stuff, but you need to pick your priorities, right? Right now it's to get me back to where I was, without all the issues that I had with allergies, like gluten allergies. I was eating gluten, all that. Dairy, that's another one. I'm working on all the other ones. So anyways, off topic. So this planner, I really love it. So so you can do your measurements. So you can keep track on your weight loss. So you can do photos here. I probably won't do that, but okay. So week 1. So you would write everything down here. Now this is something I did before when I was working out and doing meal prep. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Okay, I'm gonna go to week 2 because I did week 1 already. Okay, so that's something I was doing before when I was working out and everything. I would write down what I was going to eat for that whole week, and then I would just get the stuff that I need. So there's the grocery list. So for the recipes that I'll be doing throughout the week, I'll see if I have it in the cupboard or in the fridge. If I don't, then I'll write it down and get only what I need at the grocery store. So that way I only go to the grocery store once a week and I don't waste money, which I've been doing a lot since I stopped doing this. I would just go to the grocery store and get random stuff, and then like I ended up not eating it, right? And then every day I can keep track of all of this. I don't know if you can see it. So every day I would keep track my energy, my sleep, my stress, how I woke up feeling. And I also have priorities here. So there's 5 priorities. So right, like I have here is to drink my my water bottle. and to just follow what the meal plan is, and then I could choose like priorities in regards to like my diet and my supplements. And then it has the breakfast, lunch, dinner. So I would write down, I know it says it here, but if for some reason I don't eat, like I'll just write it down here. Okay, I didn't eat it. Today's exercise, what I did today, non-scale victory. Tomorrow's goals, my glasses of water, but I put mine in the jug. And that's for every day. So you get one every day. And then you start over again the next week. So the next week I choose what I want to eat. I write it down here and then get the recipes and see what I need and go to the grocery store. So I go to the grocery store on Friday night, and then Saturday and Sunday I spend it meal prepping. I can't do it in one day. Maybe when I get better I'll do it all on the Sunday, but I have to take 2 days to do it. Sometimes I even do another meal prep on Wednesday. You know, because sometimes the fresh stuff is not so fresh after 3 days. So I would do that. So I think that was pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I probably forgot a lot of stuff, but if you have any questions, just write it down in the comments. Let me know what your experience was when you found out about IIH, and if you have PCOS, or just let me know your story and share it with everyone. If you have any advice for anyone, write it in the comments. Don't be shy. We're all in this together. And I'll try and do more videos. It's I did have problems with my camera, so right now I'm just using my phone. I hope the video turns out okay. I'm gonna try and focus on doing more videos. It's not easy for me for a couple of reasons. I'm not a camera person, first of all, and second of all, talking. I get out of breath really easily, so sometimes I kind of, like when I lose my oxygen, I get all weird and dizzy. But anyways, I'll try my best. I'll try and do more like every day. I'll be using my phone. I really hope you guys can see me well and can hear me well. I'm gonna be editing this, but I'll see if it's good, but just let me know how it goes, and if I can keep going on with my phone camera instead of my other camera, because I've been trying to figure it out for a while, and I wasn't succeeding. So anyways, I'll be doing it with my phone, and for now, and yeah, I'll come on more often and show you what I'm up to. So this week, this is what I'm working on. Next week, I don't know what I'm gonna work on next week, but I'll let you know. I'm also thinking maybe I should start an Instagram, because I find it easier with Instagram. That way I post in 2 places, and like the images are kind of like, I like it better on Instagram. Anyways, I'll probably start that. I'll let you guys know once I open it. Do you guys want me to start TikTok? Let me know in the comments. What else? Anyway, let me know what you want and I'll do it. And that's it for today. Like and share. And stay healthy. Bye.